PA students. My name's Alexis. I'm a second year PA student at ATSU University in Mesa, Arizona, and I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about the application process, how much that costs, how long it takes, and some helpful resources I've found along the way. The first thing you need to be familiar with is CASPA. It stands for Centralized Application Services for Physician Assistants. And what that is basically your application headquarters. It's where you're going to submit your transcripts. It's where you're going to upload your personal statement, add any hours that you have, experiences, things like that. They collect all of that and disperse it to the programs that you decide to apply to. CASPA does charge a fee for their service. For your very first application, it's $184, and then for each additional application, it's $61. So you can see how if you're applying to multiple programs, that adds up quite quickly. Now there's also something called a supplemental application, which most programs have. Usually entails asking more detailed essay questions, things like that, and they usually charge a fee as well. And that can range anywhere between $25 to $125, just depending on the program. So that's something to take note of. The difficult thing about applying to PA school is that it's not really a standardized process, unlike medical school where you fill out an application and you're done. With PA school, each program is very unique and has very different requirements, so you need to be diligent about looking at those requirements, and I would do so ahead of time. So I encourage you, even if you're not applying this cycle, get onto CASPA, make an account, and start kind of making yourself familiar with the platform, the website, and any programs that you're potentially interested in. They have all of that information on CASPA. The application cycle starts the last Thursday in April and continues until the April 1st of the following year. So that's your application window. Schools don't, that's not the deadline for each program. Like I said, they're unique and each program has its own deadline, so pay attention to that as well. Some schools do rolling applications, and what that means is that they are reviewing applications as they're receiving them. Other schools wait until the deadline is passed before they start reviewing applications, so that's something to make note of. Other costs to think about are things like tests. Some schools require you to take the GRE, some require the CASPER, some require the PA CAT. All of these tests have a fee. The GRE is around $220. The CASPER is about $85, and the PA CAT is $228. So you can see how applying to PA school can get expensive in a hurry. So when should you apply? I say you apply as soon as you meet the minimum requirements for any program that you're interested in. There's a couple reasons for this. One, you just never know who you'll stand out to, and you might get a yes the first time you apply. The other reason is that CASPA will save your information, such as your transcripts and other important documents, so you don't have to re-enter those every year. So this gives you practice entering it in, and it saves work for future application cycles. So go ahead and apply if you can afford to. Maybe don't, apply to 20 programs if you feel like your application isn't where you want it to be. Narrow that search down to a smaller number to, avoid paying those high application fees. But overall, I think it's good practice to get your application out there as soon as you meet those minimum requirements. So what if you don't get in? First of all, don't be too hard on yourself. Most people that apply to PA school don't get in the first time. It's a very competitive process. So just dust yourself off and keep going. First thing I would do is reach out to the schools where you applied and ask if they do an application review. A lot of schools can give you feedback on areas where they want to see improvement and then work on those areas. Another option is to get a mentor. I used the Posh PA for my interview prep. Her name's Michelle Nesky. She has a great team of PAs that help students get into PA school. She just launched a newer kind of like a mentorship for PA students to go through the application process. So if you're really struggling, I would highly recommend her team. Another similar platform is the PA platform with Savannah Perry. She has great resources on her Instagram and YouTube, and then I often listen to her podcast while I was commuting. The last resource I want to share with you real quick is called My PA Box, and it's a database of all the PA programs in the United States with a searchable filter. So you can filter programs that don't require the GRE, or if you don't want to take physics, you can find programs that don't require physics. So it's just a great tool to expand your search and find programs that you otherwise wouldn't have known you qualified for. So good luck to you all on your application journey, and I wish you all the best.
Hi everyone, my name is Maren. So I'm just going to share with you why I chose the PA profession over other careers. So personally for me, being a PA just offers the better balance. I felt like the PA profession is something that offers more flexibility and certainly a shorter training period compared to the residency that medical school route offered. And then certain other medical careers like dentistry and pharmacy or among those, they didn't really appeal to me as much because they were a little bit more on the specific side. So I really do like the variety that comes with being a PA. And my suggestion to future applicants is to really do your research on the PA profession, because unlike what some people might think, the learning curve in PA school is certainly really steep. And so you really do have to come in to this program, to this profession with a genuine love for helping people, rather than any other motive. And what I like personally is that, especially at least early on in my career as a PA, is I know that I can have the support of a supervising physician if I do need it. But I really do admire the autonomy that comes with seeing patients, being able to like diagnose them and treat them, and overall just have a role in providing patient care. And I find that so far as from what I've seen, it's a very rewarding journey and it does keep you on your toes, but it also challenges you to like keep learning every day. And it does remind you to embrace humility because there are going to be times that you recognize that you don't have all the answers or you really don't have the same depth of knowledge as some of your coworkers, especially your supervising physicians, and you have to learn to be okay with that. So overall, I do think it's a very rewarding career, and I personally fit that these were the reasons that I chose this profession, and I hope that you're able to come and make a decision about your future career as well.
So, the structure of PA school is typically that you have a didactic and a clinical year. So, for AT Still, our didactic year is 14 months, and then you go to clinical year for the last 12 months. So, throughout didactic year, you'll do a bunch of different types of medicine. So, we learned, well, you start off with the biomedicine and you do what like intro stuff you need to understand the rest of the courses. Then we did ENT, pulmonary, cardiology, um, neurology, GI, and you do those different things. And then you take different tests throughout that. And that's typically your didactic year. And then for clinical year, you go through 8 different specialties. So you have your surgery, women's health, internal medicine, family medicine, ER, psych, and you do an elective as well where you get to choose anything. And then you also have pediatric. Right now, I'm in my cardiothoracic surgery rotation, which is our general surgery, but it's cardiothoracic for me. I really like that one, and I'm actually considering it as my specialty that I might do outside of school. Either that, or I'm also interested in cardiology with children, which I might be doing as my elective at Phoenix Children's.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brahim Haddad. I'm a second year PA student at ATSU University. I'm just going to answer a couple of you guys' questions. So, one of the first ones I saw was extracurricular activities, and I worked as an EMT before school. I also did some shadowing in a primary care office. For my volunteer work, I did with a preschool for kids with special needs. I also volunteered with an organization such as American Diabetes Association, and I currently do volunteer work with Arizona Justice League, which basically I dress up as a superhero, and I go to different hospitals for children. For which programs I decided to apply to, so I was a low GPA applicant, so I decided to look at programs that had similar acceptance rates for my current stats. So I applied to about 19 schools across the country. I think I ended up with about 5 interviews, and I ultimately accepted AT Still. And just for advice for PA school, it's hard, but it is not impossible. So keep your head down, go to class, put in the time, and then try not to compare yourself to others because everyone's story is different. So at the end of the day, this is your journey. Make it elite.